Hello Flosstube, my name is Jani and I am channeling my lollipop stitcher persona with my Minnie Mouse ears. So yeah, I was watching today a video from Lindy Stitches. And she was talking about, she showed us a picture of the clown from It, and kind of spooky. So something weird and off place to look at. So I don't have creepy, well, I have some creepy stuff, but no, I decided to wear my ears. So yeah, that's it. If I don't like it, I will remove it from the video digitally, all the technology available. Well, hello, my name is Jani, and returning to the usual programmation. I am a stitcher, and this is a cross stitch channel. This week I've been working only in one project and not really long enough, but I can show you some progress. I am still, experimenting with Game of Swans by Long Dog Sampler. And I really enjoyed it. And instead of using, all the colors, I am making some monochromatic attempt to stitch this project, and I decided to use a spool of Gutermann thread. It's a Sulky thread. It's cotton, but it has variation in the color. Is this one? It's 4007, and it's a really pretty color, red and purple and pink. The good thing is that I can get them here in my needlework store. The Sulky type, it's called Cotton 12. So I was really interesting because it's equivalent to 1.5 thread of DMC. So these are great for higher count, like 36 count or AIDA 18, in case you want to use just one thread. And it's great. I am loving this. It's a little wash, the image, but you can see the beautiful colors, and I really want to try some more colors. My project, yeah, no, that's a little washout. I am loving it. I am using just one thread, and the fabric is an even width 36 that I dyed, and according to the light you can see differently, but it's mainly a mustard color with some greens and some olives and yellow. So I really loving the project. It's very different from the original design because this is more like a romantic relaxing, you know, with all these beautiful colors, and it's more like an intricate one shade design, so it's the result is different, but I'm really enjoyed it. And something happened with my phone. Yeah, I am really wanted to see the main motifs, how they look, and I'm loving it. You know, in the solid parts I'm leaving blank space so they don't look so blocky, so to speak. But yeah, it's a different vibe of the original design, another take, but really enjoyed it. And I love how with the light it looks different from one take to another. But yeah, that's what I'm doing, and really enjoyed it. Interesting watching the color, hearing the spool, and how they translate in the fabric. Because, for example, the one that I'm using, you mainly see like a red shade, but once you stitch it, you know, it's really purple and blue and all the colors, you know, together. And the same is going to happen with all of these. You can see like a light purple or pink, and once I start to stitch with them, they're going to be something different, equally beautiful but different. This one is so pretty. I mean, you can see the colors, and perhaps looking like a equivalent in a solid color. You can tell the main shade that this transmit, but once you stitch with them, you start to see the different shades. One is so lovely, really light shades and colors. They're also cheap here, about $2, $2.20, Amazon and other sites in the United States, and they're more expensive. So yeah, finally they are not so expensive. And it's interesting because as most of my fabrics and patterns and flosses, I have to order them online. And obviously, here in my stores, they don't have all the range of the colors, because I was looking in the Butterman site, and they have like 100 different shades. I'm assuming they have solid colors and this variation type of color. But yeah, I'm loving it. Look at this. For a sampler, and there are cotton. I mean, of course, some silks and some other flosses have that like luxury, you know, feeling. But these are so pretty. And yeah, I haven't been stitching a lot. This weekend I'm planning on stitch all day. So yeah. Last weekend we went with my family to a town near here, my city. The town is called Pátzcuaro, and we have a very good time. A beautiful place, and they had this like festival of paper balloons, and the food is great. And yeah, I record some of a little clips of ladies who are waving, making pieces of clothes. So I will put some of the videos here because it's a joy to watch these ladies making these pieces of art. And I got this little detail, and yeah, they make all this from scratch, from zero, with the thread and everything. So I will insert the clip here so you can watch it, and I will see you. I want to, continue stitching a little bit, but I will see you in a bit. Bye bye.
Hello, I am stitching on my Game of Swans sampler using a thread of Gutermann. This is a Sulky cotton, cotton number 12. These spools came with 200 meters of thread, so enough to finish a sampler, and the color is 4007, and it's a really pretty color. I am using just one thread of Gutermann, and because it's a sulky thread, is thicker than a single thread of DMC, so it's a little equivalent to 1.5 thread of DMC. The look in the fabric is great because the coverage is so pretty, and you can see the shape of the crosses, because that's what happened with me when I'm stitching in 38 or in Aida 18. No, 36 36 count or Aida 18, that I feel 2 threads of DMC are just too much and with one thread, I mean, it's fine with me, but it's more like a lazy kind of finish, because you can see part of the fabric, and with this sulky thread, the coverage is very good, and you just using one thread. So yeah, I'm really liking. I struggled at the beginning with this, but now I'm I'm having a great time. And because the thread is variegated, I am finish each cross before I move to the next one in order to achieve this variation in the color. So yeah, but finally you can stitch as you wish. All the bottom leg of the crosses, and then finishing the cross. It's a matter of preference. Again, we don't judge. As Michelle, farm girl stitcher, said, you do you, boo. And yeah, and in my case I prefer to finish each cross when I'm using this variegated thread, and also because it's kind of intricate design, so I prefer to finish each motif, and yeah, either way it's okay. So I am I start this sampler in the bottom part, no, in the top part of the sampler, and but I continue all around the design because I really wanted to look at the larger motifs. So I did this central flower, and I finished the one of the large swans. So yeah, I'm running all around my design, but and trying to figure it out, the way to stitch my motifs, because of course I'm just using one thread, and I'm leaving spaces without stitching in order to be able to appreciate the shapes in the middle. For example, in this flower, because this start blank space in the original design go with a different color, so I have to leave these spaces without stitching. Or in the case of the dragonfly wings, I leave these little stitches, or better, without the stitches, because the central part of the wings are in another color. So things like that, in the case of the this is a basket, I leave this like outline without the stitching to separate from the flower and the nest. Oops. So yeah, little things like that. And of course, because this is a hand-dye fabric, it has really light spaces and a darker ones. Here, for example, it's difficult to see the shape of the flower because the fabric is a little darker, but overall I am loving it. It's a really different result from the original design. But yeah, it's a cool experiment. I think. And I like it. I mean, it's my piece, so I am enjoying the process. So I will continue stitching on this for a few days because my stitching rotation, it's stitch what you want when you want it. And in my case, it's when I have the time, stitch whatever you want. So yeah, I'm trying to enjoy the ride, and I am waiting for a lot of fabric and patterns that I order. Yeah. I just put a big order last week, so many of the materials that I'm going to receive are for the Mexican retreat. Yeah, I'm getting some fabric and charts, of course, and a lot of goodies, because as you know, many of the materials, of the cross stitch materials, we don't get it locally, so we have to order from the United States or Europe. And but it's a great experience to have at least a few charts or pieces of fabric in the retreat. I did that in the last year retreat, and I spent a few months trying to gather charts and dyeing fabric and dyeing flosses, and the intention was to recreate a little trunk show with mirabilias patterns and some hand dyes fabrics and needles and Q-snaps and hoops and things that we not always get around here. So yeah, I'm little by little collecting these these patterns and these materials in order to bring a little needlework store to the retreat. And I know the experience is the main experience is to know another stitchers and stitch together and talk and have fun, because it's a great time. But if you can bring some goodies and some stash, that's a bonus. So yeah, that's the idea. So the Mexican retreat is going to be on October, from the 25 to the 27. So I still have time to receive my materials, and I'm still working in the goodie bag for each of the participants, and really exciting about all the the things that we are putting together. And that's it. Let me continue stitching and trying to reach the other side, so start to moving my stitching in order. And we'll see. So until the next time, thanks for joining me. Thank you always for your comments and all your love, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.